Evening.
Hello, evening. Okay, we'll call the meeting to order. North Smithfield Zoning Board of Review. Today is Tuesday, September 12th, 2023. Roll call, please.
Mr. Najarian?
Here.
Mr. Mark Antonio?
Here.
Mr. DeZiel?
Here.
And Mr. Martin?
Here.
And Ms. Benoit?
Here.
Thank you. Item 3, disclosure of no compensation or pension credits received by the board members. The council members are appointed by the town council and receive no compensation. Item 4, disclosure and notice. Zoning Board of Review members shall disclose any ex parte communications about any contested or material adjudicatory facts or opinions concerning the merits of any application before the Zoning Board of Review. Item 5, approval of the CBRE meeting minutes from August 22nd, 2023. I know members had the minutes sent in plenty of time to review. Unless there are any questions or corrections, we can entertain a motion to accept.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes from August 22nd, 2023 meeting.
Second?
I'll second.
You can pick which one you want.
Give it to Vivian.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Okay. Item 6, approval of the decision for ZBR 23-08, the Bank of America ATM at 900 Victory Highway. This was sent out in enough time, certainly, for review. Again, if there are any requested revisions or clarifications.
I'll make a motion to approve the application ZBR 2308 decision.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? I'll sign mine, Tiffany. Okay, item 7, we appreciate your consideration while we waited to make sure that all of our members were present. So new business, item 7 is the ZBR 23-09, which is applications for a special use permit by Robert and Paulette Goodwin. Applicant is seeking a special use permit for the construction of an addition to an existing farm stand located at 1993 Providence Pike per section 5.6.3.1 of the town zoning ordinance for a special, whereby a special use permit is required due to an existing special use permit on the property. What I'd like to do before I ask one of you to come up to the podium, let me just introduce into evidence all of the material that you submitted to us. So P1, we'll call P1 the standard Town of North Smithfield application for variance or special use permit.
6 pages.
6 pages, double. And this is, again, for the special use permit. It's application 2309 for today's date. P2 would be the list 200-foot abutters list report, which is 3 pages. And that's dated 8/21/23. P3 we'll call the individual pictures. There was 4 pages with full-size 8.5 by 11 pictures of the existing farm stand. There's no date or title, but we know what they are. They're the front and side elevations of the existing farm stand. I think I broke up the other submittal. So P5, P5, I called the insight. I have a bigger version here so I can actually read it. P5 is the survey variance plan prepared by Insight Engineering.
Which one are we submitting to evidence? The
Well,
larger one?
No, well, either one, it doesn't matter. The zoning official will have it. I just asked for the larger one so that members could have clarity if you wanted to look at. It was very hard to read the one that was submitted, so it doesn't really matter because it's the exact same thing. It's signed by Mark Nyberg. His license number is 1797, and it's dated, that's a good question. 8/2/23. And all that is it's 8/12, I'm sorry. Yep.
Mr. Chairman, was there a P4?
This must be P4.
P1, P2, P3. Yeah, P4 should have been,
And there's our
The-
one.
two.
It's
Maybe
the
there
design
isn't.
plans.
Yeah, maybe there isn't a P4.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, so we'll call,
oh,
I may have put them out of order. We'll call P5 P4. So P4, I'm sorry,
That's okay.
will be the Insight Engineering Plan. And again, it's just the plot plan showing the property and the proposed addition. P5. It's 4 pages, which is essentially kind of a architectural renderings of, it's 4 pages, and I think it also included, so it's, yeah, if we pull off the, yeah, it's 1, 2, 3. If we pull off that last page, which is just the inside drawing again, it doesn't matter.
well, it's got the deed also.
Yeah, yeah, correct. Yeah. And those are architectural renderings of plan view, some elevation drawings. Some of them are 2 pages, so that gives you the
Okay.
description of the architectural.
And then
That's
attached to that,
P5.
my copy was.
Yeah, I broke them out, so that'll
Okay.
be, that'll be P6. We'll call the map of shows the abutters with the pink and the yellow. So we'll call that P6. That has no date on it, but again, it shows all the parcels and in pink and yellow. P7
It's the deed.
will be the warranty deed, the quitclaim deed. It has the stamp date of September 30th of 1992. 2 pages. Okay. So we have everything introduced into evidence. If the applicant would like to come forward, please go to the podium and just raise your, do we still need to do this right-hand thing, or? Okay, so just give your name slowly so that they can write it down, and then,
Absolutely. Amy Goodwin Lombardo.
you can walk us through whatever information you'd like us to know.
Great, thanks. Appreciate it. Up. Can you hear me now? A little better? Okay. No one's ever said I didn't talk loud enough, so. Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Board, for having us here tonight to hear our application. I'm here on behalf of Robert Goodwin, who is the owner, to give a little extra explanation along with the packet that you've received already, which I hope explains why we're here for a special permit, why we're proposing this addition, and just give you a little bit more detail of what's going on. If you're not familiar, this has been farmland for as far back as I can find records of North Smithfield maps. Not all farmland gets to survive this long, and it's really beautiful feat, I think, that this farmland is still surviving and thriving today. It's a wonderful site, and this is indeed the farm's fruit stand, fruit and vegetable stand, where they sell local produce. It exists by special permit in accordance with the current zoning ordinance. We'd like to put an addition onto this. The addition's purpose is really for customer convenience. a little more elbow room is needed. That's what we need. That really is what it boils down to. With these places where we display the produce, it's not leaving enough elbow room for people to shop comfortably and browse the produce, and so we're just looking to improve the customer interaction in the facility. So that's why we're asking to do this. So that's the why. What are we doing here? So this is a custom built from about 2000 vintage, a 36 by 24 custom heavy timber structure. That's all those timbers, all those beams, all those columns are custom sawn woods and with custom siding. It's really a beautiful piece. It's an open air farm stand. You might not be able to tell it from its current picture that's showing right now, but there's a series of overhead garage-style doors that open when the business hours open. Some of the produce is moved out, and people can shop inside or right in front of the farm stand. And then at night, those overhead doors are closed down for security purposes, and man doors exist for convenience and for exiting purposes. The addition that's proposed is proposed to the west-hand side of this building. So if we're looking here, just off to the right here, the addition is basically 2 more bays. So there's 3 bays in this picture, it's 2 more bays. The idea is that if you've never seen this building, and in 5 years from now when it's all built, those 2 more bays look identical to the ones that are there already. It should be seamless. It's going to have the same roof line, the same pitch, the same front elevation. We'll be using the same type of overhead doors so that it stays open air marketplace, and it will maintain some convenience doors, some man doors for convenience and egress. Again, we're really just expanding the amount of elbow room that's in between the aisles and the produce that's inside of there today, and we believe this will make a better customer experience. This is, in my opinion, this is just the editorial part. I think this is a heritage site for North Smithfield. It seems to be a place that most of the local residents know of and go to for their produce, and I hope that you guys can see to a favorable vote for this addition. A couple of the particulars on the site, as there was a survey that was submitted, it is no additional variances we're aware of that are needed. This is simply a continuation of the special permit to stay in alignment with the current zoning ordinances. If you have any other questions, we will try to answer them.
Any questions for the applicant?
Sure, just for the record, I note in the application, and I also noticed on the CIS map, that your single lot has 2 zoning districts. The primary lot is in an RA district, which is the farm itself, and I just want to ascertain that the farm stand is in the BN district.
That is correct.
Yeah, it's right there on the drawing. You can see the line that goes through.
Mm-hmm.
It shows RA and BN. So BN is the whole front.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
The RA is everything to the rear, the right side.
Gotcha.
I may also note that the surveyor did a great job of noting both the side setback requirements for both BN and RA, and I believe BN is the one that we have to comply with, because BA would trump over the BN would trump over the RA side and setbacks.
Yeah, I don't think there's no issue with regard to variances
No,
for setbacks.
both are met.
That's why we asked for the drawing. He clearly notes that you're in compliance with all of the established setbacks, so that's not.
Appears so.
The other reason I asked for the larger drawing is just for clarity, because it was very hard to see, no matter how you blew it up on your computer, so. that was just-
We
just for
apologize, and I
clarity.
hope
That's
the
all.
11 by 17 is more helpful.
Not
Sorry
a
about
problem.
that.
Any other questions for the applicant?
Yeah, just 2 more. And I just want to have it on the record, you're not asking for any additional parking?
No, sir. There are 14 spots right now, and there'll be 14 spots to go. The parking area remains the same in this application.
And by adding this addition, you don't anticipate that there's going to be any additional impact on traffic in the area?
We do not anticipate additional traffic or customer flow. Again, this is about an orientation, a redistribution of what's already inside, which feels too crowded, so a new customer experience.
Okay. That's all my questions.
I'll just add to that.
Go ahead.
So the ordinance 6.151, commercial use, they only need 2 parking spaces per 1,000 square feet. So they have way more parking spaces than what's required by the ordinance.
Yeah, and I think it's a valid question. And they did note in the application that they have 14 spaces, but I think any of us who have frequented that business know that, you know, it's a flow. It's a flow of people. So you could have 3 cars when you pull in, you could have 2, you could have none. So I think it's manageable, whatever they've done to this point, and it's, I don't think the extra square footage means that you're gonna get 100 extra people. It just makes it
so.
easier for those who do frequent to shop in a more open area, so. Okay. Any other question for the applicant? Okay, you can go ahead and sit down.
Thank you.
If we need you again, we'll ask you. We'll leave that open, and then we'll open up if we have any public comment. Anyone here that'd like to speak in favor or against, one way or the other? Seeing no one, we can then take a motion to close both simultaneously.
I'll make a motion to close the applicant and the public part of the process.
We have a second? All in
I'll se-
favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. So we'll move into deliberation for your benefit. As you may have seen when you filled out your application, we're prescribed, there's a process that we must follow to review any request for relief, and that's what we'll do now, and then we'll vote. This part of the process is private to us, so that's why we closed the presentation, okay? Item 1, this is the findings of fact for a special use permit, 9.2 of the zoning ordinance. The following findings of fact were supported by the testimony and evidence presented at the public hearing as follows. Criteria item number 1, ingress and egress to the property and proposed structures thereon with particular reference to fire or catastrophe. My notes are, as we all can see and know, it's an addition to an existing farm stand. It has immediate access to Greenville Road. I wouldn't think that there's any concern with regard to ingress and egress to the property if it were improved. Any comments? Item 2.
agree.
Off-street parking and loading areas were required with particular attention to items in number 1 above, ingress and egress, and the economic noise, glare, or odor effects of the special use permit on adjoining properties and properties in the generally in the district. As we noted and just had conversations, there is 14 parking spaces listed by the applicant on the application for off-street parking. I don't believe that this application required planning board review. We didn't see the request. And as we all know, I think you wouldn't be able to park on Greenville Road even if you wanted to, if they had an overflow condition. So there's nothing that tells us that they can't manage what they already have. As noted, this is an expansion of an existing special use permit, and we have no one here from the public that has questioned any of the current operations. So as it relates to glare, noise, or odor, those don't appear to have any impact on the adjoining properties and properties in general. We have the schools across the street, the funeral home on the other corner, the economic, and the only thing you can say about that is it probably increases the economic benefit because we're expanding an existing use. Members?
Agree.
Item 3, refuse and service areas with particular reference to items 1 and 2 previously. It wouldn't appear that it's going to change anything that the applicant is currently doing with regard to service and refuse. It is a farm, so nothing would appear to be different with the expanded use if the relief is granted. We good? Item 4, utilities with reference to locations, availability, and compatibility. It would appear that all we're talking about is a simple expansion of the electrical service for general lighting, so I can't believe that you get plenty of power on Greenville Road. I wouldn't think that that has any impact on this. Item 5, screening and buffering with reference to type, dimension, and character. There wouldn't appear to be any reason to screen or buffer. It's a farm, that's what it's supposed to be. There's plenty of public access, and the visibility helps, not hurts. So that doesn't appear to be applicable. Are you good?
Agreed.
Item 7. Six. Oh, signs, yep. Signage, the signage is unchanged. It's whatever is existing, I'm sure there was no, and even if there was a sign that, if a permit was required, that's a separate application to a different entity. Yeah, signs, if any, proposed exterior lighting with reference to glare, traffic safety, economic effect, compatibility and harmony with properties in the district. As we noted, whatever signage, I'm sure is just going to remain, and if it were to change, that's a different process, as we noted. Exterior lighting, their hours are generally during the day, so I don't think there's any issue with glare or traffic safety. So none of those in item 6 would appear to be applicable. Item 7 now is required yards and other open space. I don't really think that it applies, and it's a farm, so as far as open space is concerned, there's plenty of that. Item 8, general compatibility with adjacent properties and other property in the district. It's a business, it's a mixed use, clearly. We know that the backside is residential, but we've got our high school and middle school on one corner, a funeral home, as I noted, on the other, and various residential properties on the other side. So it's a mixed use, clearly. So clearly it's generally compatible with the adjacent properties. Anything else? Okay. If we have any, we can have a motion to close deliberations if all is in order.
I'll make a motion to close deliberations.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, Chris, you were going to read the
Yep.
motion?
I make a motion to approve the application of Robert and Paulette Goodwin, application number ZBR 2309, seeking a special use permit for the construction of a 24-foot by 24-foot addition to an existing farm stand located at 1993 Providence Pike, per section 5.6.3.1 of the town zoning ordinance. A special use permit is required for an addition to an accessory use structure.
Accessory use structure? Oh, is that from the?
Yeah, that's from,
Okay,
that's from
okay.
the ordinance itself.
Okay. Oh, that's the way they define that?
Yeah.
I'll second that.
Okay, we'll have anybody, is there a reason to read it again? Okay. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Najarian,
Yes.
Mr. DeZiel,
Yes.
Mr. Marcantonio, Mr. Martin,
Yes.
Ms. Benoit.
Good luck.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned.
That was an exceptional. Can't wait to see it done.
Yeah, good luck. Hurry up and get those macoons.